the warrior of Earth. The grand hall of the Galactic Assembly buzzed with subdued chatter. Delegates of every species in the Intergalactic Union filled the chamber, their forms glittering under the soft glow of bioluminescent chandeliers. At the center stood a lone human, Sergeant David Kane, clad in a black military uniform adorned with subtle patches and medals that hinted at his battle-hardened past. He looked calm, though his sharp blue eyes scanned the room like a predator sizing up its prey. To his left, Princess Aranel of the Serathari sat on a high platform reserved for royalty. Her silver skin shimmered faintly, and her sapphire eyes observed the human with a mix of curiosity and intrigue. Unlike the stoic alien delegates, who regarded Kane with varying degrees of skepticism and unease, Aranel leaned forward in her seat, captivated by his quiet confidence. Kane had been summoned to recount Earth's military history during a diplomatic conference on interspecies defense cooperation. What the Assembly hadn't anticipated was the raw, brutal honesty with which he would deliver his tale. A soldier's story. When Kane stepped to the podium, his voice was deep, steady, and commanding. I've been asked to share what humanity brings to the table in terms of warfare. I'll warn you now, our history isn't pretty. War rarely is. He clicked a button on the holographic projector. Images of Earth's battlefields appeared, ancient warriors clashing with swords, trenches filled with mud and smoke, cities reduced to rubble by bombs, and starships descending into planetary atmospheres. The room fell silent as the delegates absorbed the sheer scale of human conflict. Earth, Kane continued, has never known a time without war. From sticks and stones to nuclear weapons, we've fought for survival, for power, for freedom. We've faced extinction, sometimes at our own hands, and come back stronger every time. The crystalline delegate from the Zyxarch Collective chimed in, its voice like wind chimes. Such barbarity! How have you not destroyed yourselves? Kane met the Zyxarch's gaze with an unflinching stare. We've come close, but war taught us more than destruction. It taught us strategy, discipline, and resilience. And when faced with a common threat, we learned unity. He clicked again, showing footage of humanity's defense against an alien invasion decades prior. Massive war machines clashed in the skies, soldiers fought in the ruins of cities, and civilians banded together to rebuild. When the Draconics invaded Earth, we didn't crumble. We fought back, and we won. The mention of the Draconics sent a ripple through the room. The Draconics were a species of galactic marauders feared by many in the Union. Few had survived their wrath, none had ever repelled an invasion. Kane paused, his gaze sweeping over the assembly. War isn't just about weapons, it's about willpower. Humanity has a simple rule: never back down, no matter the odds. That's what we bring to the table. Fear and fascination. The room buzzed with hushed conversations. Many delegates looked uneasy. The Thraxian ambassador whispered to its aide, antennae twitching nervously. The Igrath Confederation representative coiled its serpentine body tighter, its yellow eyes narrowing at the human. But Princess Aranel's expression was different. Her sapphire eyes glimmered with admiration as she studied Kane's posture, the way he held himself, not with arrogance, but with quiet strength. Here was a being who had faced horrors she could scarcely imagine and emerged unbroken. She rose from her seat, her flowing silver gown catching the light as she descended the steps toward the human. The murmurs ceased as all eyes turned to her. Kane's eyes flicked to her, his expression unreadable but alert. "Sergeant Kane," she said, her melodic voice carrying across the hall, "your words are intense, but they resonate with truth. I've read much about your species, but hearing it from you is something else entirely." Kane inclined his head respectfully. "Thank you, Your Highness. I speak not to intimidate, but to inform." "Intimidation is not necessarily a flaw," she replied, a small smile gracing her lips. "Fear can be a tool, just as bravery can be a weapon." The delegates exchanged uneasy glances as Aranel addressed him further. "Your people's resilience is remarkable. I wonder, is it born from necessity or is it something innate?" Kane's lips curved into a faint smile. "A bit of both, I'd say. Earth is a tough place. You either adapt or you don't make it. But it's more than that. We fight because we value what we're protecting. Our families, our freedom, our future. That's what gives us our strength." Aranel tilted her head, her curiosity deepening. A noble sentiment, perhaps one the galaxy could learn from. A sudden test. Before the conversation could continue, alarms blared. The assembly chamber's walls shimmered red, and a robotic voice announced, "Unauthorized breach detected. Hostile entities inbound." The hall descended into chaos as guards scrambled to secure the delegates. Kane's posture shifted instantly, his relaxed demeanor replaced by sharp alertness. "Stay behind me, Your Highness," he said, stepping in front of Aranel without hesitation. The doors burst open, and a group of heavily armed mercenaries stormed in, weapons drawn. The delegates recoiled, some hiding behind their guards. Kane didn't flinch. One of the mercenaries sneered at him. "Step aside, human." Kane's voice was cold and steady. "Bad idea," the mercenary laughed. "What are you going to do? Talk us to death?" Kane moved faster than the aliens could react. He grabbed a nearby ceremonial staff, spinning it like a makeshift weapon. With a sharp crack, he disarmed the nearest mercenary, then used the staff to knock another unconscious in one fluid motion. The remaining attackers opened fire, but Kane rolled to cover, using the staff to disable their weapons. The guards finally rallied, driving the remaining mercenaries back. Kane stood over the leader, who groaned on the floor, clutching a broken arm. "Tell your boss," Kane said, leaning down. "Earth doesn't scare easy." Aftermath. As the chamber returned to calm, Aranel approached Kane, her expression filled with admiration. "You're quite the warrior, Sergeant Kane." He shrugged, brushing a bit of dust off his uniform. "Just doing my job, Your Highness." She stepped closer, her sapphire eyes locking onto his. "Perhaps, but you do it with remarkable skill. The galaxy needs protectors like you." Kane offered a rare smile. "And I think the galaxy could use leaders like you." The room was abuzz with whispers, but Aranel paid them no mind. For the first time, she felt a spark of hope for the Union, one born from the quiet strength of a soldier from a small blue planet called Earth.